Hey sis, it's your girl Shanice Love Jones, the revolutionary love coach and the level up queen. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about my story and how I've overcome rejection and self-hatred and low self-esteem. A wise woman once told me that you can't walk in your purpose until you convert your pain into power. And I know pain. I've dealt with abuse and abandonment and loneliness, etc., etc. Listen, I've been in toxic relationships. I formed ungodly soul ties. And those things are hard to break, y'all. I think about one relationship in particular that I know was sent straight from the enemy to take me out. In this relationship, I was being emotionally and mentally abused, and I didn't even know. This man was so controlling and so manipulative that all I did was strive to please him. Strive to look good for him. Strive to just be the best girlfriend that I could be, because I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. Why? On the outside, he looked like a high value man, right? We're always talking about high value and high quality. Well, on paper, he looked good. He had this job, he had this type of career, he made this type of money, etc., etc. But we know that God doesn't look at the outside. God looks at the heart. So when we're getting in these relationships for vain and shallow reasons, understand that it's probably not gonna go right. And that was my situation. I always felt low, and he made sure that I stayed low, that my light never shined too bright. He never wanted to be outshined, because you see, his spirit, right, his heart, because God looks at the heart, his heart was rotten. He himself, he was insecure. He had low self-esteem. So he had to make sure the woman he was with made him feel secure. And that was by her not thinking too highly of herself. And so I didn't. And so I put up with the cheating. I put up with him looking at other women. I put up with, him making negative and disparaging comments to take shots at my self-esteem, because I thought that he was the best that I could do at the time. And even thinking back on it, I cringe, because I would never find myself in that situation now. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to overcome these things. So I really want you to stick around for this. But after that relationship, it didn't just end there. No. I was in bondage for years. I was enslaved to these feelings for years. And so many women can relate. So many women are walking around bound by their insecurities, bound by resentment and bitterness from being hurt. And many women die full of potential, full of purpose, full of destiny, that was never able to be expressed because they were never able to be free. But we getting free over here. That's what Love Jones is all about. So after that relationship, I continued the dysfunction. I continued the toxic relationships. They all looked a little different, but the root was the same. So now you think I'm free, but I left that relationship feeling worse. I left that relationship really not feeling good enough. Like, I wasn't good enough to sustain that type of man, and that was my ideal man. So I felt low. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel pretty enough. I didn't feel lit enough. And so that made me seek validation from men. If I'm walking past and I turn a man's head, then I must look good. I must be pretty. If this man wants to date me or he wants to talk to me, that must mean he sees some type of value. So all my value was placed in what men thought. So I love to date men who thought really highly of me. Really, they were shallow, right? They only saw the outside. And that was honestly not me. That was a representative that I brought. Because I put a lot of my value in how I dressed and how I looked. I spent so much time in the mirror trying to look just perfect, and I never did. I never will. So I always felt low. I always felt bad. I never could really see myself the way God saw me. I put all my value in external accomplishments and accolades. My degrees, what I'm driving, how much money I make, anything. I scraped for anything that I could add to my resume that says, hey, she's good enough. Hey, she's valuable. Hey, she's that girl. And if you can relate, let me tell you, it never gets better. It's exhausting and it's depressing to try to find your value through other people's eyes, for continuously needing to be validated by other people. So I dated men who really liked me, who saw me as valuable based on the outside representative. But they didn't have the capacity to nurture, right? They didn't have the capacity to nurture the real woman on the inside of me. They didn't have the capacity to run that race of endurance with me for kingdom purposes. See, that's why I'm always stressing kingdom. Because we are kingdom and God has us here for a purpose that we have to fulfill. We always get distracted and caught up. That's why they said when the devil wants to distract you, he sends you a relationship. It's very true. Understand that you're a glory carrier. You have glory and purpose down on the inside of you, and you can't just lay that down anywhere. You can't just be with anyone. And that's the biggest lesson I've learned in life, is that I can't just be with anybody. I don't care how lonely you feel, how bored you are, how low you feel. You cannot just attach yourself to any old dude. That's how we're forming ungodly soul ties. You're having sex with a man and you don't even know. You don't even know the spirit that's operating on the inside of him. And he's carrying all of this baggage, all this sludge and this grudge, and he's inserting that into you. And now you're not wondering why you can't attract quality, why you can't keep relationships, why you can't keep friendships, why every area in your life is broken. You ever notice that when you're in the wrong relationship, you really don't make a lot of progress in life? Yeah, you might get a promotion. Yeah, you might do well. You might get a job. You might graduate. But you never really elevate and grow because you can't. You're being anchored down by the wrong man. That's why I'll continue to stress who you are with matters. It matters, it matters, it matters. In the moment that I recognized and I realized that, things changed. And I remember it was around 2017, 2018, I started wanting better. It's like, I want to be married, but I don't want this type of life. And you know, we see relationships and we start accepting that this is how it is. We don't see a lot of examples of healthy relationships, healthy marriages, so we just kind of got to do what we got to do. A man's going to cheat. That's just how they are. So you settle for being a side chick, right? You settle having a piece of a man, but that's definitely not what God wants for us. That's not what he wants out of your life. He doesn't want you attached to a bum. And I say that often because it's true. And that's no offense to bums, but they don't belong in the kingdom. So I really wanted to talk about this because I know so many women are in this space. You're navigating life with all of this baggage, with all of this hurt, all of this resentment, this bitterness, this pain, this angst. You don't have any esteem. You don't have any confidence. You don't see yourself as beautiful. You don't see yourself as valuable. So you start losing hope. You start settling. You basically just attract more of the dysfunction that you're putting out there. But once you commit yourself to having a higher quality life, once you commit yourself to God, the way that I did, he started providing me with wisdom. He started providing me with strategy. What does he give you a hope in the future, right? Now my head is high, just like my self-esteem, and I'm in position to receive all of the blessings that heaven has stored for me. And I'm about to tell you how that's possible. I literally live my life by this model, and it's called the love model. Get with it, Love Jones. And I'm going to just briefly tell you a little bit about this model because I really want you to implement this in your life. I really think it will bless you. So the L of the love model stands for a luxury mindset. And a luxury mindset is simply just a mindset of abundance. You think in abundance. So many of us have a mentality of lack. We think that there's not enough men. There's not enough good men. Men just cheat. Whatever you think is what your reality will be. But when you think with luxury, you call those things in heaven down on earth. You're able to speak about those things that are not as if they were. You believe and you can partner with God to manifest, right? And don't think of luxury as just expensive things. Luxury is being whole and healthy in your mind, body, and spirit. That's a luxury. Many people in this world are not walking around whole. So when you're able to tap into wholeness, completeness, to know who you are, that's a luxury, boo. But it all starts up here in your mental. So you have to cultivate that luxurious mindset first. The O is obedience to God. I say it time and time again that I help faith-centered women. Obedience to God is not an option. To want anything outside of God is a mistake, especially a relationship. You're not going to be able to sustain a relationship outside of God. That's why this ministry is rooted in God. Why? Because He loves marriage. He created marriage. He is going to bring you together and partner you with your kingdom spouse so you can advance His kingdom. Anything you doing outside of that, you want to start dating like the world, you're going to get more of the same of what you were getting before. That first step is to obey what God is telling you to do. And on your journey, on your level up journey, you're going to need God. That's how you really level up. That's the true tea. But you're going to have to be able to hear Him. Hear Him over the noise. So that means you have to have a relationship with Him. You have to partner with God and listen to what He says. The V is having a value mentality. And I love this because I talk about value all the time. It matters. Like I told y'all, the whole game, you show up differently when you value yourself. When you recognize your value, your walk, your talk, everything changes about you. And when you find out who you are, you operate in the world and you show up differently. That's how people want to take over the world. People want to conquer the world. People want to change the world. We have all of these big dreams. But it first starts with you recognizing your value and that you have something to offer. So with a value mentality, you not only recognize your value, you're able to recognize other people's value. You're able to use discernment and better judgment. Because when you recognize others' value, you can pour into them and help shape them. You also only engage in high value activities. Spending a bunch of money for no reason, drinking a lot, smoking a lot, cursing, fighting, all of the gossiping, those are low vibrational, low value activities. When you operate with a value mentality, everything you do is to be adding value to yourself, to other people, to the kingdom. Okay? Then we have the E, which is eminent femininity. And that's really simply put, operating in your queen consciousness. And I'm so big on that because you are a queen. And the first step to being a queen is simply just recognizing that you're a queen. Because whether you're in the gutter or the palace, you're still a queen. You're part of a royal priesthood. And as women, our femininity is our power. We show godly femininity. And that's how we operate. We don't try to be like men. We don't try to be a king. We use our soft power. We use our soft skills. And it gets us far. And let me tell you, a queen has character. Impeccable character. I always say, think of the Proverbs 31 woman. And she has a no-nonsense approach to life, love, and business, okay? So when you think of a queen, think of yourself, and you operate that way. And I'm telling you, because I've used this in my life, and it's made such a difference. Even just me talking to you guys right now, Love Jones is a God-birthed ministry. This is a ministry that God has placed on the inside of me. And for years, I've been afraid because of my low self-esteem and my insecurities have prevented me from speaking up and showing up. Oh, what if people don't want to hear what I have to say? Oh, what if people judge me? Using that love model has had me show up like no other, because I know that you need to hear this. And you're going to need to show up in a way that you never have before. So you need this model. You need to adopt this mindset and this mind and this mentality. And I talk about these things so much on this channel. That's why I'm always asking you to subscribe. Because I talk about mindset. I talk about God and having a relationship with God. I talk about high value. I talk about queendom, all up and through this channel. Why? Because it's based on this model. This model is that key to your freedom. So are you ready to move past pain and operate in your power? Are you ready to finally be set free? Are you ready to build your esteem, your confidence, and your queen power? If you are, give me a yes, I'm ready in the comments. I want to hear from you, sis. Listen, if you need support, I would be honored to walk beside you on this journey, okay? I have my contact information down in this description box below. Reach out. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, sis. If you're not subscribed, you're gonna miss out, because I'm telling you, Love Jones is a movement, and God is doing some wonderful things through this platform just for you. So stick around, and I'll see you in the next video.